All right, Justin Clark here with Veterans Referring Veterans, and I'm super excited to have Travis down here with Zarfling Platoon coming out of Austin. So thank you for coming, and thank you for being part of the VRV. And you're one of the
Yes.
very first businesses that was like truly really unique. That is just absolutely incredible. So I'm so excited to have you on and to showcase with what you got. So and if you want to kind of tell people too, because I know you're still in the Guard right now, correct?
Yes, and thanks for having me. I am in the National Guard, Texas Army National Guard. Came out of 10 years active Army and had a little break in service, and I decided if I ever want to get back in, I'd just be in a part-time capacity, and so I've been serving in the National Guard for almost 5 years now. Yeah.
Oh, right on, awesome. Now is Texas your home state then?
Yes.
Or is it? Right on. That's cool. Because you're close to downtown, I believe, right? Or right down in downtown there?
Yeah, pretty close to downtown Austin, yeah.
Yeah, right on. And I know we've got a Tap Out Fitness Austin is down there, so I don't know how far away she is from you, but I need to get her on too. So hopefully we can start doing a VRV gig down there in Austin because that'd be fun. So, but anyways, so Travis, the whole reason we're on is to showcase with what he's doing. So I don't know if you want to just take the wheel here and talk about everything that you've got going on, because basically you do children's books and you do children's games on top of that. So yeah, tell us about with what you got.
Yeah, so we at Zarfling Platoon create children's books and educational games for elementary age kids. We started out with a book called The Knitting Chicken, went from there to a series of sight word card games to help kids from kindergarten age, third grade, or rather, to improve their sight words. And then we've continued with making up to now 4 books, total now, with the 5th in the development. And we are now about to launch the 2nd edition of a geography puzzle. We went through a revision based on some valuable feedback, and now we're launching it, real soon. That's going to be a big thing for us. And that geography puzzle is a pretty cool, unique product as well.
That is really cool. And then one of your things too, I remember from when you first signed on, because you kind of started this when you were on deployment, correct? Or with writing one of the books?
I've always enjoyed writing, but the first book I mentioned, that was something that I wrote sitting on the tailgate of a Humvee at Fort Hood, and just I would spend my time when everyone's waiting around the motor pool. I would just sit there and work on storyboards for books I've liked, and it was one of the books I've written that I thought was a little bit more accessible. It could be easier to pitch to publishers. I've pitched different books, and we always get rejection letters or nothing at all. But this was one I thought maybe I'd have a chance with. And so when I got out, that's when I decided, let me focus on this story and see if I can become a published author with it. And so I went with that one, and it became what we're working on now.
Yeah, and it's totally awesome, and the whole because I've only seen bits and pieces from the internet and from what you've sent me over messages and stuff like that. But even your animation, your characters, and the way it's what am I looking for? Not, I guess it would be animation. Well, with all the characters that are drawn on there, I absolutely love them.
Right.
They look great.
Yeah, that's all because of the talented visual illustrators and graphic designers, art designers. That's why we're the platoon that we are, because it's all because of the team that we have going on. A lot of great talented people.
Now they're local guys.
They're what's running Zarfling Platoon, and so they're not local. In fact, we're all over. There's myself in Texas. There's David Bust, who's the illustrator of the children's books. He's up in Canada. Then you have PJ Day, who's a art designer and comic creator. He lives in Arizona. And then you have Wouter Goodkoop, who's the cartographer behind the puzzle, which features the map of that fantasy setting. He's also in Canada. And then you have our editor. She's up in Washington. We've got a new addition to our team. She's a marketing specialist. She's up in Alaska. A military spouse herself. She's there with her husband are up in Alaska, so we're all over the North America.
Yeah.
Really.
That's good. Well, you're in America, so that's awesome. So I
Yeah,
know a lot of these guys that immediately start shipping overseas and cost savings and this and that. But I appreciate with what you're doing, keeping everything here local. So I think that's absolutely amazing. And so beyond the books too, you've got your card games, right? And with
yeah,
these card games, if I remember correctly, you were getting with kind of like medical professional help on how to I guess attack these so they would be engaging with the kids and actually structurally like learning, I guess, educational for them.
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm by no means a professional educator, but I've you know learned from my kids, coming up in the grades, and with the others being parents as well. We've done our research as to what's beneficial, and I've had them play tested in schools and spoken with educators and found out, hey, this is helpful. And then we also have future things in development that I've reached out to other professionals. So something you always learn in the military, you can't always be the best at everything, but you can, work with others and get that that collaboration going and
Yeah.
research and meet with others who happen to, know more than you do. And so, yeah, that's where I've been really working on our different products and found out, hey, maybe this person can help me with the background behind it.
Yeah, yeah, and I love it. Your drive behind this thing is awesome. I'm telling you, we talk just about on a daily basis, just about through
Yeah.
Instagram and whatnot, and man, the ideas that are pouring out of your head are absolutely amazing. But I love how you reach out when kind of needing help or suggestions or anything like that. And I think that's a big difference between, like, I guess the feel within this like VRV community where we're not scared to kind of ask questions if we'll like seem dumb or anything like that. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And I love that. I just love how you can kind of reach out and ask questions and talk to anybody who you want. And, at the same time, I wish I had more resources to push towards you, but
So
someday,
we're all learning all
someday
the
we
time.
will.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
that's it. You establish connections, you help each other out where you can, and
yeah,
and
yeah,
you make friends along the way. So yeah,
yeah,
I've definitely got a lot of stuff going on. Sometimes almost it seems like I've got too much going on, but at the same time, it's what drives me because I'm constantly trying to move forward because if I feel like I'm stagnant and I feel like I'm falling backwards, and so I'm always just trying to move forward.
yeah. No, that's awesome. That's totally the whole entrepreneur spirit there. So that's cool. So, and I know I had you grab some of your books. Do you want to throw up some of your books and some of it so
Yeah,
you can show? Because I'm interested to see them. I absolutely love seeing the pictures online. But yeah,
yeah.
so
So I mean, like I said, the one that started it all, the knitting chicken. This one here stars Lucy the chicken. It's a great book about self worth. Teaches kids that your value might be different than what you see others bringing to the table, but everyone's got value. You see what you
yeah,
can bring to the table. You can become an asset as well. Um, Moved on to work on a couple of A to Z type books. Uh, this one here also teaches kids about alliteration. Amazing animal actions, alliteration A to Z. So we're also trying to introduce literary tools because with every product we make, we try to educate as well as entertain. When I first started with our sight word card game, I pitched it to a lot of publishers, and just as when you're pitching a book, you'll get those rejection letters, but a lot of times the publishers would say that education is not really mainstream, and if you attach that label, it's not really going to allow it to move forward. So I ended up just deciding, well, I'm just going to do it myself. If it's not mainstream enough for everybody, I'm just going to make it mainstream.
yeah,
And so
good.
that's where we have the lesson in the knitting chicken, and we decided, well, let's go ahead and make this alliteration book, teach kids about alliteration, and then we
Yeah,
moved from there to another A to Z book, and this one's a really unique one that I like. That's mythical creatures, legendary histories, haiku A to Z. Now this one's fun too because I just like poetry. I've always been a dork like that since I was in grade school. I was always writing
yeah,
poetry, but I wrote haiku A to Z, and then the illustrator did a great job doing all the mythical creatures. Well, it also has a forward by a webcomic creator, and so kids get to learn. It's for a slightly older elementary age kid. They get to learn about the poetry style, also about a lot of these mythical creatures that are already all throughout pop culture. But they've been in our
sweet.
history throughout the world. for
Yeah.
many a year, but now we're seeing them in movies to like it's a fresh new thing, and it's not. So it's a
Right.
fun book that educates there as well.
Right.
And then we are continuing our Hearty Eggs Farm collection as we started with the Knitting Chicken by working on the next book, and that's Gnomes on the Farm. And it just talks about Bruce the pig and how his creativity and sometimes being a little different. As long as he perseveres, and maybe I wrote a little bit about myself in this, but he can just continue pushing forward, and even if he encounters some setbacks, he just keeps on persevering, and his drive gets more where he wants.
Dude, I love it, man. Absolutely love it. And real quick, I gotta throw in too, because your illustrator, speaking of like kind of old heroes, but Four Brothers Mead. Four Brothers Mead is on the VRV, and you had your illustrator create a little Viking thing for the
David
Four
did a
Brothers.
fun Viking for them, yeah.
Yeah, that thing's awesome. So no, I think it's great, man. I even though some people, they cast their doubts or whatever, I love how you're owning it, and we're 100% behind you with what you're doing, because I think it's absolutely great, and I think it's even better when it's coming from a vet like yourself that's just doing what he loves to do, man.
My dog, if you're wondering what
I'm
doing.
No. Did you knit that sweater?
Yeah.
Travis also has you've got some of your puzzle, or which one you got to show, the puzzle or the card game?
Well, I'll give a little background on the card game. The card game's kind of a different animal for us. We put it out in runs, print runs, and we're going to get another one soon. It's a great identity to us that shows like what we do, but we're gearing up to do another print run, and once we can get that arranged, it just takes a little bit more of a concerted effort. But I'm definitely proud of them, and I've got them here to show. It's really something cool, and my hope is that we can get picked up by like if anyone's listening, like a big name realtor, or excuse me, retailer. Got my dog on my leg again. A big name retailer, like if we can get some kind of contract going with that would be awesome. Or even a distributor. We've been emailing distributors, but it's been busy with the Q4 retail push. So yeah, that's these right here. Let me geek out just a little bit here. So
yeah, absolutely.
I'll go grade by grade. This being the kindergarten game. So Spellcasters VS is our game that is meant to kind of be like a Pokemon or a Yu-Gi-Oh kind of game for kids to get into, but it teaches kids their sight words. And so this one's
so can Marines use this too?
I mean, yeah, I actually went to an event at an exchange here at Fort Sam, and a guy came by and he said, I just took command of an infantry unit, and I have a feeling half those guys could probably benefit from these games. And so, I have a feeling some of these guys could benefit. He probably wanted to remain anonymous so he wouldn't get any bad, reports, as they have to get those reports out. Then we got the first grade game, second, and third. And then as it goes through, it's meant to keep kids entertained and educated. And so that's, like I said, I've been focusing my efforts on the books. It's kind of like I'm learning as I'm going. I'm not a business major. I've got my background elsewhere. But as I said, we try to learn from others and constantly improve ourselves. And so I'm learning to scale things. And so I'm working on the books, and then I've got another product, and then I'm going to get to where I can work with that retailer and provide a large order to the public and get that off the ground. But we successfully ran some smaller print runs and have some positive feedback from people who are enjoying that, and teachers have enjoyed it in classrooms. And so, like I said, what I'm working on now that we're going to be releasing really soon is the geography puzzle. And so this is really cool because as kids are tested sight words, there are things that they're always taught and tested upon throughout elementary school. We don't really get tested on geography, at least not until older grades. That's not something that we really focus on. But I think that's an important thing that we should all know. And especially in the military, you learn about, features, landforms, these things. And it's just good knowledge. And I think spatial thinking is actually a thing. Understanding the land around you and where you are in relation to things. You learn it in two ways. And that's where I combine those two things. As a kid, you learn it about puzzles. You put together puzzles, you're understanding spatial thinking, putting the pieces together in relation to the others. We learned it later in the military by reading maps, and you improve your spatial thinking that way. And so I combined them and made a puzzle, because as I saw my kid didn't really do any kind of geography. Every time he'd bring home homework, I'm thinking, are you going to ever learn about that? So I thought, well, as a parent, let me make something I want my kids to learn. And
Right.
so it's a two-sided puzzle. I also want to be a
You
storyteller.
got to show it up closer again.
Yeah,
I love it.
So
there we go.
Map of Mythflicked, right? So Mythflicked.
Sweet.
Hardy Eggs Farm is our farm collection. Mythflicked is our fantasy collection. And so, as I said, I've written everything, authored the, games and the books, and I decided, well, I've got these characters, I've got these different settings that are, situations, whatnot. I need actual, setting. I need location, at least for the fantasy setting. I decided to make, these lands. I got the wilderness, and I got Forbidland, and I've got all these crazy thoughts, right? Where my wife sometimes sees me sitting at
I don't even want to know what's
with a
going
cup of
on in
coffee,
there.
and she's like, well, what are you doing over there? I said, I'm just imagining stuff. You really want to ask what I'm thinking about right now? And she's like, I'm just going to go, do my own thing. So, yeah, I've come up with this as a great way to get, kids that maybe in the intermediate grades, which are third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, if they're just done with their work, or if they just want to work on this with a friend, they put the puzzle together, they get to improve their spatial thinking and geographical awareness by seeing over 30 real, features in a fantasy setting. So it's fun for them. A lot of times we learn geography in a different way.
Right. And I think, I think that's something that you can bring home from school, not just in the school, but I can see kids doing this at home. I think it's really, really cool. So that's awesome.
Too. I'm trying to make everything not just for schools or for home, but for kids to want to take to school,
right.
or for, from them to take from school, to work on home, whatever they want. I mean, everything here is something, my kids have asked to throw in their backpack to take to school, and I've encouraged it. And teachers have said, hey, they didn't want to, give it back to your kid. They wanted to keep playing in our class. And so I've just left some copies at, my kids' school of these different products I've made, because that's the point. I think it should be, as I try to be as active in my kids' education, it should be an integrated thing. Parents should have more resources to work with their kids, at the dining table, and just sit and, interact with their kids, and, have more fun with them in ways that can help them out in school as well.
Yeah, dude, that's sweet, man. I love it. Hey, can we talk about I don't know if it's a secret or anything like that. I'll just say it, the plush dolls.
Oh yeah.
Did we mention that?
No, it's cool. It's just I've got such a long list of things I've been, like I've been talking about. I mean, the plush, dolls are for the protagonist of the next book that we're working on. So that's something that's in the works. It's in the shoot, not ready to jump out just yet. But yeah, that's something I'm working on. I've got a plush person. As I said, I've been trying to connect with people. I've got someone who's made several of these and understands how the whole system works. And so when it gets to the point where I can, meet with a retailer, I can be like, hey, I've got, these games, like, that's nice. And I've got this plush that works with the games. And they're like, oh, that's cool. And I got this puzzle that works with the card games and a plush. Like, all right, you can have your little turnstile, So I'm trying to get it to where they see that I've put a lot of thought into this, It's not
so
just
really
a one-off thing.
If anybody's out there listening and has any insights that can help out Travis, please reach out and help him out. Because obviously we're not by means any crazy professionals or anything like that. So if anybody's got any insights that can help him out with launching this, and with the plushes, with the games, with the books, hit us up.
That's the thing, though. I mean, you go to these stores, and you go to Barnes and Noble, and you go to these places, and you'll see. I mean, my kid will see one product, and he'll say, "Oh, I didn't really like, this type of product behind the whole world of this franchise, but I like these things." And then he gets introduced to it. And so that's my thing. If I'm going to get people to see educational products as a mainstream thing, I need to make it more appealing. And so that's where I'm introducing different, ways to get kids interested. And so if they find out that the protagonist is also a cute little plush, and that gets them reading about a book series that lightly touches on different methods of measurement, as dorky as that sounds, that's where I've got, things going for the future books. Well, now kids are learning about measurement without even realizing it. And they're doing it with a cute little plush in their hands. and then they're
Yeah.
getting to play with a puzzle that's based on the world, and then they get to go all in different directions, right?
Yeah, dude. I absolutely love it, man. I truly wholeheartedly love it. And seriously, every time you message on Instagram, I'm like, oh man, here comes another crazy idea. Like,
Yeah.
here we go.
Oh yeah,
So I can
yeah.
only imagine the stuff I don't hear.
Yeah,
So
there's a long list of stuff. Yeah, that are not half baked, right? Not fully formed. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
revisit the list once in a while. I'm like, all right, let me see if I can work on this a little bit more. Is this ready for me to tell someone else yet? Yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool. So real quick, what would if someone's out there's listening and they're looking into possibly getting into publishing a book or doing like starting something educational wise like with what you're doing, what would you suggest? What would be your first, I guess, kind of helping hand to help them get up off the ground a bit? What would you suggest to them
You
as
know,
for starting up?
yeah. I mean, I
Besides,
wouldn't
don't
even
do it.
say. Yeah, I mean, everyone just says just do it, and that's something we always hear. It's like, all right, yeah, but I mean, it would be to figure out what you're good at and figure out what you're not good at, and if you're serious about becoming more than what you're just good at, then you got to make friends and get with others and see if you're on the same path about want to do things, and you know figure out how you can work together on things, and you make things happen together if you're amicable, and if you're able to follow through on your word. And that's the other thing. I mean, I'm nothing if not for the others in the platoon, and so they see us making these things, and they're hoping that we can make something better for the platoon. And it's just not just me. I mean, I'm having a
Right.
great time making things, but I think they are as well. And so for any of us to succeed, it's for that vision, if you will, or whatever, to be clear. And so I would say if there's anything that you want to do and you don't see it working, if you're just an island, then it's to get others on board, and really be a team player and put those different
Yeah.
strengths to use, and realize what weaknesses, and try to get everyone together to make what dream you have a reality. And
Yeah.
that's the only way I've been able to do it. I
Yeah.
mean, I'd reach out all the time and ask them what they think about something. If they're like, that's all right, well then I go back and work on something different, and or
Mhm.
shelve it entirely. I mean, I'm not so proud to think that everything I think up is great, because hell, I think of a lot of stuff. Something's bound to be a stinker. So I come up with all these different things, and if they think it's good, then we work on it together. And you know, Zarfling.com, if you want to get on there and contact me through there. You can email me any questions you've got. And like I said, I didn't start out with any experience, but it's every day. That's one thing I think is every day I try to dedicate just a little bit of time to learn something that I didn't know the day before,
Good.
and that really
Good,
helps
good, good.
out.
Right on. So Zarfling.com, and we'll put that up on here. And then they can, in your email address once again?
Yeah, info@zarfling.com.
Info at Zarfling.
So
Right
you
on.
can get on there and reach out if you like. And like I said, I mean, we've got our books out there on Amazon. We're launching the geography puzzle, in the next few days, and then we're going to be getting the sight word next run of the sight word card games out. And so that's the thing. I mean, we've got some products that have been sold and proven to be quality products. We're proud of what we're doing, and we enjoy doing it. And we just want to keep on doing it.
Yeah, no, you're awesome, and like I said, I'm behind you all the way. And then too, your social media handles. So you're at Zarfling,
Yeah,
Zarfling, correct?
yeah, yeah. It's a
Yeah,
made up word. It's a goofy word. A zarf is
yeah. Where does
actually
that
one
come
of those
from?
cardboard sleeves when you get a to-go cup of coffee. It keeps it from hurting your hand.
Yeah.
And so it's actually an old Turkish word, I believe, is where it hails from. Middle East, ancient Turkish word. So, anyways, as the Zarf holds, your cup of coffee, and a Zarfling, we're all Zarflings in the platoon because we're holding your imagination. We're trying
Dude,
to,
I love it. I
yeah,
never knew that. That's awesome. I absolutely
yeah.
love it.
And
Dude,
so
that's
platoon of
sweet.
Zarflings, just a bunch of goofy critters that are just trying to hold your imagination with all the wacky stuff we're coming up with.
You're always plotting.
Oh yeah, always plotting. Yeah.
Yes. So he's kind of showed me some shirts and hats that maybe I'm talking too far ahead of myself, but
Oh no.
hoping those will be coming out too. So they're great.
We've got the website all geared up. I'm trying to get things live and have other people that are smarter than me and different things look at it and say, you got to fix this and tweak that. And so, yeah, we'll have
Yeah.
the geography puzzle out with an associated, shirt, and we're trying to expand the line because, as you see different businesses come out with a little bit of the personality and things, I'm trying to make it, look like, hey, we're a, lighthearted, you know, positive, minded group of veterans and civilians alike, and all of that that shared, you know, ambition of just making quality products that both entertain and educate elementary age kids.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's
that's what we're
sweet,
all
dude.
coming together for.
Right on. Well, I absolutely love it, man. I can't wait to see what else you've got in store. I can't wait to see you grow more, and I can't wait to talk to you again, man. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's about it. You got anything else to say?
Well, when we do launch the puzzle, the marketing campaign, I've got these fun
Yes.
decals. I've been, giving these decals at events. People at the
Oh,
exchange,
sweet.
guys that come by, and you know, uh, all the service members would see these. So these are just
Oh,
goofy
that's sweet.
decals. We'll be giving these away for free throughout the whole campaign. So when you see this puzzle on social media at Zarfling on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, I call them the comical core decals. It's general question, major opinion, chief concern, and
Sure.
private thought. These are the 4 characters I came up with a while back, and had
Oh
someone
my
make
goodness,
them.
dude.
Like
You're
I said,
right,
I
man.
think up all kinds of stuff, and I try to get people to help make my thoughts a reality. And so we'll be giving those comical core decal packs away with our puzzle when that comes out soon. So keep an eye out for that.
Dude, that's sweet. Yeah, I can't wait. So definitely we'll be pushing on our end too, man. So I appreciate it. So go and follow and like Zarfling on Instagram. Now you're on Facebook too, correct?
Yeah. We try to do some
Okay.
different things on each one.
Okay.
David Buse, like you said, he did the Viking, for Four Brothers.
Yeah.
He also does just fun illustrations for all sorts of different breweries all throughout Canada, and sometimes you'll do some in the U.S. And so, we'll post those on. He seems to be doing it every Friday for the past year and a half, it seems. So I mean, there's a
Huh.
bunch of fun. It's in a whole inspired by beer folder. So anyone who likes beer, you can go on there, and once
Right
in a
on.
while I'll try to share those on other stuff. But that's pretty much where you'll see them. It's on Facebook, and
Right
we
on.
get it. Stuff going on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. Yeah.
Right on. That's awesome, man. I love your passion for what you're doing and for, really recognizing these other people within your platoon, man. It's awesome. So I love it. So, but yeah, man, I appreciate it, Travis. It was really good finally talking to you face to face, and hopefully
Yeah.
we can get an
Same
event
here.
going down there in Austin, man. So,
Yeah, I hope so. I'd be looking forward to that. Yeah, and
yeah,
thanks for having me on. I
yeah,
appreciate it.
absolutely. All right, man. Well, you have a good one, and until next time, you have a good one. We'll see y'all.
you.